Welcome, everyone. I see the little red numbers are rolling up, which means we're recording. I see my audio is going up. Mouse, you want to say something to see if yours is moving? Stop it.
Hello.
Okay, good. His works. All right. Welcome to whatever the hell episode of Geekamole this is. 47, I think. I've lost
Not
track.
count ready?
Well, it's been 3 weeks. I'm sorry.
It's only been 2. I've been away for 2 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks, darling. Trust me, I know.
Okay. 3 Sundays, 2 weeks.
It was 3 Sundays. Yes, 3 Sundays, 2 weeks, which makes it 3 episodes.
Yep.
Therefore, technically, I am correct.
Yep. Anyways, I am back from Ecuador, so now we may resume insanity as usual.
And so we have our traditional fare of whatever the hell. We're talking media this week because this officially allows us to shift our schedule a week. So, goody for us. We're going to try and bust this real quick. So let's go ahead and start off with Mouse.
And speaking of what the hell, we have a new rule that has been added to the Tokyo Comic Con website. They have essentially banned men from cosplaying as women characters.
Too late.
What?
Too late.
Which is a term which is it has been coined as crossplay. Now, Kotaku did the translation of the official website, and the notice said that it was prohibited for men to wear women's clothing, especially using the Japanese word josu, which means wearing female clothing. And it refers only to men wearing women's clothing. That includes also a ban on realistic military costumes, excessive skin exposure, and transparent outfits. However, this ban doesn't go both ways. Women are still allowed to crossplay as men. Photographer Naoko Tachibana was quoted as saying that this type of event affects those bans because, quote, event planners don't want to attract stereotypically unattractive men dressed as women.
Speaking as someone who's been to a lot of conventions, I have seen many unattractive men dressed as women. Language, sound coming out of your face. Try it.
Flames! The sides of my face. I'm sorry. I just can't get over how incredibly stupid this is. It's just so incredibly stupid. What
are you gonna do? I mean, you know,
it's just so stupid. My God, Japan, seriously, get with the century.
Knowing, having seen conventions and knowing, I've seen, for example, the one of the ones that is perhaps the most obvious perpetrator, shall we say, are the male Sailor Senshi Scouts.
You leave the Sailor Senshis out of this. They're national treasures.
And I've seen my fair share of transvestite men in that style of fuku, and of late, I have seen a great deal of them actually making male versions of the Sailor Senshi Scouts, so that they're not dressed in fuku, but actually have leggings, but are otherwise dressed like the females. And honestly, I'm like, does that count? Because
I don't know. Honestly, in my opinion, you should be able to dress up as long as you don't have hanging titties and other things.
Well,
you should be able to dress up however the hell you want to. I just think they're being idiots, but whatever.
All right, so shall we move on?
Let us.
All right, let us. Kong Island. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to change the. So some of the logos are going to be kind of hard to see because I forget that we're on a black background and I forget when I make them black. But this one stands out. This one's visible.
What black background are we on? Are you putting us in space?
No, we're on sort of a metal brush black thingy, and don't worry about it. You
I
didn't
thought
watch last episode to see what we're on.
I forgot. Okay, I was preparing my trip.
Yeah,
You
okay,
should.
okay.
You should. I think you should put us like in the Hall of Justice one of these days. All I'm saying.
I'm doing what I can do right now, and what I've got right now is this. So, anyways, Kong Skull Island. Just as a heads up, we all know this is coming in 2017, and it's supposed to be a reimagining of the origin of King Kong. And Japan, as long as we're on Japan, Japan has released a 30-second trailer for it, and it doesn't really give anything new that we haven't seen in the American version, which is actually longer. But there was, in fact, a new poster that was released. I will try and superimpose it here in a moment. That is a picture of Skull Island, and actually, when you apply blacklight to it, it actually reveals a whole bunch of secrets, including a giant dinosaur skeleton under the island. It's damn near Dharma level of Lost miscellany, David Lindelof kind of things. It's actually very cool. I wish I could read all of it. There's a whole section of it that starts off sounding almost like it's a romance novel.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mind went to the absolutely wrong place.
I know where it went. That's why I just kept going.
You did that on purpose.
I know how to hide my vorpalisms quite well. Thank you so much. Anyway, so I will try and sneak the posters up here while he giggles like a little schoolgirl. But that's really all I have to share on that. Next up. Sorry, Seven to Eternity is one of those ones that kind of suffers because you can't read it right there.
Well, not only that, I'm having some issues with Edge.
That's why I tell you, put all your notes in Notepad. That way, screw your internet.
All right. Anyways, so we have a new creator-owned comic published by Image Comics. It's a series. It's written by Rick Remender, and the artist is Jerome Opeña with an Ñ. This book takes place in the world of Zal. Although that's how you pronounce it or not. It has a Z, and then it has an H, and an A, and an Al. So it could be Zal, or it could be Zal.
Or it could be Jal.
Or it could be Jal. So take your pick. This is a fantasy setting where mages are known as Mosaks, and they basically can manipulate the spirit world to achieve different things, to influence the world. They're kind of like the cornerstone of this of the society's technology, because even the weapons are linked to living beings. And the story of Seven to Eternity basically centers around this sort of Machiavellian type schemer, although that name is not. We'll talk about later why Machiavellian is not actually what people think it is. But they basically seizes power by manipulating the Mosaks, and the story centers around the son of the Mosak, of the one independent Mosak who decided not to bend his knee, and of course the son saw his father killed. And the story basically explores how someone can protect their families, and whether should they surrender to the rule of an authoritarian government or continue a struggle that might seem futile, but it is the moral choice. This comic actually looks very interesting. The art itself is a little bit too much on the I don't know. It's for my taste, is a little bit too much on the old school fantasy. Very, very heavily detailed. And it's not. I have very specific taste.
You're bouncing.
I'm bouncing.
You're bouncing a lot. Stop moving your camera.
And I have very specific taste when it comes to sequential art. So the art doesn't quite seem to be my cup of tea for this comic, but the story makes it interesting enough that I want to read it, and I definitely do recommend that people pick this little title up. And it's always good to back creator-owned series.
What's funny is when I made this graphic for us, I didn't intend it to come out quite the way it did. In as much as it looks like this particular guy is behind you holding a gun to your head making you say all this. I'm like, that doesn't look right. That's not what I wanted. Anyways, so yeah, I will make it more visible some point when I remember that black is not a good thing for logos. All right, next up, and there's another example. At least this one has an outline of white. American Horror Story. So season 6 Roanoke is coming to the end of its 10 episode run. God, it seems like these great shows have so many seasons that are just tiny, and it's sad. But,
better it be small and good that long and unbearable.
Oh, this season's been creeping me the hell out. Anyways, so the big news isn't so much the season. It's in fact that Ryan Murphy has announced that they do have plans for an official crossover season. Now, fans of American Horror Story know that all of the stories actually take place in the same universe. Because we've had characters occasionally show up in other seasons. But there has never been an official crossover of any of the seasons. That is going to change. It's not next season. Possibly season 8, maybe a little bit later. But there will be a crossover season that is going to merge Murder House and Coven. So seasons 1 and 3, I believe. I may be getting those mixed up. It might be 2 and 4. They all kind of jumbled in my head right now. But there's no official details on when. Ryan Murphy says that he does know what the plan is for the season. They are currently working on getting the cast from the 2 seasons scheduled. They basically said, hey, be available this time frame. So that's what they're currently working on, and that's going to be one messed up season. So moving on to the Invincible Iron Man.
They're always the same. Always the best, I mean. I'm sorry, you were saying?
The Invincible Iron Man. I have no idea who you were talking to before that.
Oh, all right. So some people might remember that in mid to late October, there was we saw a variant for the upcoming Invisible Iron Man #1. Invincible.
Yes, the Invisible Iron Man.
Sister Iron Man now. No, the Invincible Iron Man 1 featuring art by J. Scott Campbell. And what a lot of people complained about was that the artwork kind of showed the protagonist, Riri Williams. I still can't pronounce that name right. Riri, really. How do you pronounce it? Riri, okay. So showed Riri in a bit of a sexualized pose, and yeah, she has this midriff bearing shirt. She's kind of got the little bit of the snake spine going on, and this is something that people are saying it's a bit of an overreaction. But honestly, I do think that for a long time people have sort of turned a blind eye to the fact that we have 15-year-old girls who are being sexualized in comics in a way that it's kind of ew. I mean, the characters are 15 years old. It's something, if you look at the covers and say of what's his name, the previous artist on Teen Titans, Rocafort. If you look at Rocafort, Wonder Girl is also supposed to be 15 years old, and she has bazungas like this big, and she
that
can
hover apparently in front of her chin.
Yeah, and for example, she never stands straight. It's always like the hip to the side, and it's always like these supermodel come hither looks, and they're freaking 15-year-olds. So on that, I do think it. Sure, if she's 20, maybe, but I'd like to see sexualized man too. If we're going to be,
he really would.
Huh?
He would. He really would.
I mean, come on, seriously. But so that cover was pulled, and there is a new upcoming cover coming soon. We haven't seen it, although Scott Campbell did upload to his Facebook page a rather nice picture. Are you showing that one now, or?
No, it just says the Invincible Iron Man. Sorry.
We need to get this together.
I don't know what pictures are being used. I've stopped reading comics. I'm sorry.
Well, so there's this really nice picture of Riri with her armor, and she has a screwdriver, and it's not sexualist at all, actually, but it makes her look good. I like that. He said it was not a commissioned cover, that it's just something he just made and uploaded to Facebook. I'd love to see that as a cover. Since Drew did not post it, you should totally go and look at his Facebook page and
After
see.
the show.
After the show.
Go
to his Facebook page. We should have like a little post-it note of things to do after the show. But go ahead and take a look at it. It's really nice. Actually, I think it looks better than the cover that he made originally, because the original cover was so... It was basically a very generic kind of cheesecakey kind of pose. And it was eh. This one actually does show the character's personality, which I like.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Next up. Oops, I fell off. There we go. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. If we thought this was a one-off movie, it's not.
Of course not.
J.K. Rowling announced
J.K. needs another castle.
Well, bitch is earning them. Let's be honest.
Her first one is all full up. She needs another one. Maybe she's gonna buy a castle next to Enya, and they can be pals.
I want to be at that tea party.
No. J.K. Rowling, Enya, and Lorena McKenna need to have, like, I don't know, a get-together jam or something.
And then they can have Celtic women and Celtic Thunder show up, and I'm totally there. I will crash that party.
Or they can telecommute with magic mirrors talking to each other. That can happen too.
Anyway, so she announced last month that there will actually be 5 movies.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently the next one is already planned for 2018, because, we haven't even seen this one yet. The next one is planned for 2018. Which is...
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Part 2, subtitle, Mama Needs a New Tower.
Mama's actually making new magic. All right. But basically, the new one is said to delve deeper into the, quote, an increasingly dark time for the wizarding world where Newt Scamander, who is the, protagonist of the movie, and our other heroes have to decide on their allegiances. So keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, if you're into spoilers or background information and all things Harry Potterish, and you haven't gone to Pottermore, which is her website, you can go there now. It actually has more details on the magic in America, including the Magical Congress of the United States, which is called MACUSA, because we have to say it. We have to say our acronyms, otherwise they're not real, I guess. All right, so moving on to our, because Mouse can't live without a week without Wonder Woman.
So, the 21st of October was the day my mother died, but also was, maybe somewhat fittingly, it was also Wonder Woman Day. It was the day that the United Nations declared a celebration of Wonder Woman, and during which the character was, I guess, named an honorary ambassador for the empowerment of young girls and women, which anyone who knows Wonder Woman thinks is, it's more than a perfect fit for the character. But, of course, we have the whiny crybabies who work at the United Nations. The quote-unquote anonymous Concerned United Nations staff members wrote the following diatribe, which I want to quote in full because I want to put this into full perspective. Quote, Wonder Woman was created 75 years ago. Although the original creators may have intended Wonder Woman to represent a strong and independent warrior woman with a feminist message, the reality is that the character's current iteration is that of a large-breasted white woman of impossible proportions, scantily clad in a shimmery, thigh-bearing bodysuit with an American flag motif and knee-high boots. The epitome of a pin-up girl. This is the character that the United Nations has decided to represent a globally important issue, that of gender equality and empowerment of women and girls. It appears that this character will be promoted as the face of Sustainable Development Goal 5 for the United Nations at large. So, where do I begin?
Keep it short, let's just say.
All right. So, for example, these people were moaning that one of the things, why must we nominate a fictional character? We've got athletes who, Olympic athletes who can be the heroines. Well, yeah, one of the people named was an Olympic swimmer who wears a shimmery, thigh-bearing outfit with somewhat impossible proportions compared to the rest of the population. So again, but again, this is another case of people who've never read a freaking comic in their lives and who probably know nothing about the character, looking at what the character looks like and saying, well, that's not appropriate. Last time I checked, sex-positive feminism was a thing, and that is basically telling women that they should not be ashamed of their bodies or what their bodies look like, that their bodies are not sinful, and that it is not a shame to show their bodies. So this whole thing of, she's scantily clad is this bizarre Puritanism that seems to have emerged recently in the feminist movement, which has no place in it.
I think they're conflating or confusing positive body image with body shaming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no point where Wonder Woman goes around going, well, you're fat, therefore you're not as good as I am. She's never said that.
In fact, the whole point of Wonder Woman as a character is that she's accepting of everyone. And that is something that these people miss. And the people who know the character know why she's perfect for this, because she will not shame you. She will give you a hand. She will show you compassion. She will defend you. She's not going to go, oh my God, look how ugly you are. She's not a mean girl.
Bye, Alicia. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. So this is just stupid. And I might add that these people were not vocal and they were not moaning when Winnie the Pooh was named the ambassador for friendship, or when Tinkerbell, who wears a shimmery, thigh-bearing leaf, actually, and has very impossible proportions, she was named the ambassador for sustainability by the UN. But these people weren't anywhere near that. So good for Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot and Linda Carter were at the ceremony. Linda Carter gave a very, very spirited speech, sometimes slightly goofy at times, but then again, that's her sense of humor. And it was actually a very good speech. I recommend you go see it. Gal Gadot basically went, she, poor girl, had to follow Linda Carter and basically said what she said. Kind of. That was her speech, but it was a very nice speech. Then finally, on the whole 75th anniversary, there is a new book, the Wonder Woman 75th Anniversary Special #1, which is now on available in stores and also in digital format for $7.99. This is a huge issue, and it has snippets of stories. Some of the stories are from the Ruka, if I recall correctly. I'm reading through it. I haven't finished it yet, but it has stories and art by Ryan Albuquerque, Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chang, Renee DeLiz, Brendan Fletcher, Adam Hughes, Carl Karosh, and Gail Simone, and many more. So far, I have enjoyed this comic, and I think it's a very, very fitting 75th anniversary edition. It sort of does have... It spans modern times back to World War II, but these are old contemporary stories written by contemporary authors. There's no Golden Age or Silver Age stories in there, but it's a very nice celebration of the character. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, pick it up.
And for those who are interested in the forthcoming Gal Gadot movie, there was, in fact, a new trailer that was produced. And all I can say is, thank God, DC Warner Brothers, you've learned to make a freaking trailer.
Maybe they even learned how to make a movie.
I can only hope, because after the movie that shall not be named, that trailer fiasco followed by the movie fiasco.
You mean that it was 2 trailer fiascos, because the most recent movie also had trailer issues. The tone thing. But I don't know. We've seen 2 trailers now, 3 trailers for Wonder Woman. The teaser trailer that they showed at the Comic-Con, and now these 2 new official trailers. And maybe it's because I want to believe. Maybe I'm being Fox Mulder here. But I am getting the impression that maybe this movie will actually be good.
I'm just going to say, Warner Brothers, if you screw this movie up, he will hunt you down.
I will hunt you.
You will crush his little spirit, and he will hunt you down.
I will freaking come back like Raven, bitches. No, seriously. Honestly, if Wonder Woman tanks, I think that's going to be it for the DC Cinematic Universe. Even though they have other movies in production, they cannot afford a third bomb. They just can't.
Well, speaking of movies, shall we move on to our final topic?
One movie that was not a bomb, in fact.
Geekamole reacts to Doctor Strange.
All right. So who wants to go first?
Well, I saw it on Thursday night. I actually snuck into the just before midnight showing when there was absolutely nobody in the theater. It was wonderful. There was like 6 people there. It was great.
I went to see it with my friend Rhiannon. Hi, Rhiannon. On Friday night.
How many people were there when you saw it?
It was full. I bought the tickets in advance on Wednesday, and we only had like 4 seats left by that point.
Well, so far, when I last looked, Doctor Strange has 90% in Rotten Tomatoes.
An $85 billion opening.
Yeah, it was. I was looking back at all the notes, all the articles where they were talking about how, it looks like it's going to be this much, opening box office. Oh, this much, and every article is like 65 million, 70 million, 75 million, 80 million. And I'm like,
at one point they're just going to go all the money.
They're going to have all the money. Now, when I got back from seeing it on Thursday night, my friends asked me what I thought of it. Mouse even asked me what I thought of it. And I'm going to be honest, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was okay. It was kind of middling to me. Do I feel it was a good exploration of magic? Not bad. I felt it could have been better because I have been in the past a huge Doctor Strange fan, and I'm always a little wary when they try and water down magic for public consumption, because I know they have this lingering fear in the back of their mind of Satanism.
That the South will rise. And
some aspect of the map will rise. Somebody will be up in pitchforks, and so. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. Didn't think it was bad. Do I want my money back? Absolutely not. Am I going to buy it on video? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
I loved it. I don't think it was great. I think it was very good. And yeah, you could feel Disney going, we have to be up to this point, because after that, all of the freaks will come out and say we're in league with Satan, and look what that did to poor J.K. Rowling.
Her and her castle.
Yeah. They went and sieged her castle. You can imagine all of these, focused on a family or whatever, sieging Disney Castle at Disney World. And like Tinkerbell pouring molten lead on them or something. There's an image for you.
I mean, my thought of it was this. I thought the whole controversy about changing the Ancient One to white and all that stuff, I thought they handled it fine. Mm-hmm. I don't see any problem with it. I in fact almost wanted to rename this movie The Ancient One, because as far as I'm concerned, it was far more about her than it was about Doctor Strange.
Well, it was sort of a passing of the torch kind of movie, which it really is Doctor Strange's story, if you think about it.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that I don't recall any of his origin retellings where the Ancient One is out there kicking butt and taking names, with the fan magic and all that crap.
Like that.
I have no problem. That in and of itself, I have no problem with it. That's why I'm saying I think it should have been the Ancient One. It should have been her movie, just because I think her performance, was.
Well, it's Tilda Swinton.
Well, yes.
If she goes up to you and says, "I want to play Wolverine," you go, "Okay, bitch, you can do it." Tilda
With
Swinton,
claws, without claws, how do you want them claws?
Yeah. Tilda Swinton and Meryl Streep can play whomever they want to, regardless of gender, because they're just going to own it. She could, Meryl Streep could play Wonder Woman and Superman and still be great.
And Doomsday and Batman.
And Doomsday and Batman. But I have been seeing, it has resurfaced again, the criticism of Disney for changing the Ancient One from a Tibetan old man to a white woman. I want to say a very brief thing on this, and that is because Disney sort of had its back to the wall on this. They had to do it because there is a long-standing tacit rule in China, and that is that any movie or product that involves the positive portrayal of a Tibetan minority is banned. Brad Pitt was banned, I believe, for 17 years. Yeah, 17 years from China for his role in 7 Years in Tibet. There, in fact, have been many movies and actors and directors that have been banned from China for that. Now, if you are a studio like Marvel/Disney, and you have infused and invested a huge amount of money in a movie, you're not going to go and do the thing that's going to basically cut you off from a billion-dollar market that is the Chinese market. So basically, if they had the Ancient One as he appears in the comics, that movie would have been banned, and probably a good number of the Disney Marvel movies would not be allowed in China anymore after that. So people are angry at Disney for doing this. They say that Disney is the devil, but they're not angry at China for being a retrograde authoritarian government. If you're angry that the Ancient One was changed from a Tibetan monk to a white woman, and you're angry at Disney for doing that, your anger is misplaced. Disney is just trying not to go bankrupt or not to lose a huge amount of money on a product into which they have invested a huge amount of money.
And now we pull back from the political focus.
That being said, I love the psychedelia. Oh my God.
My chief complaint was with the villain, who name eludes me. That's how forgettable he was. I know he was whatever he was. He was a very minor character from an old Doctor Strange storyline. And as far as I'm concerned, this movie was basically setting up for Mordo.
Yeah, it was setting up for Mordo and, Dormammu. I mean, he can't act directly anymore, but nothing says that he can't act indirectly. Because it's freaking Dormammu.
Like I said, this was a blatant setup for Infinity War and for the next Doctor Strange movie, assuming there is one. Then I'm pretty sure there will be.
I'm pretty sure there will be.
And, like I said, it wasn't a bad movie, wasn't a good movie, just blatantly felt like a setup movie. And I think Benedict Cumberbatch did fine.
I think Betty Boop Cucumber Patch was very good as Doctor Strange.
And I think the guy, I wish I could remember his name, who played Mordo, I think he did pretty damn well.
He's really good. And he has this voice I love. I could listen to that voice forever.
And the guy who played Wong, I loved him as well.
Oh my gosh.
He was a badass in his own way.
I loved him.
And see, that was the thing that everyone always worries about with Wong, is that he's going to be the stereotypical, cliched Chinaman kind of thing, and everybody who portrays him in a Doctor Strange movie is like, no, we want to make sure that he's not that.
I have to say I did love Wong very much.
So I enjoy it. I mean, you know, like
And
I
the
said,
special effects were gorgeous.
the special effects were awesome. I thought they
One
were.
of, one of the things that I kept thinking as, they're manipulating the space around them, I kept thinking, this is what a mage campaign should feel like.
The wax on, wax off method of transportation.
Well, no, the whole, altering space, that's, correspondence, right?
The mirror dimension.
The mirror dimension, the umbra, all that sort of stuff. It felt like, well, I can't say this because obviously the people who did Mage White Wolf were influenced in many ways by Doctor Strange comics as well as some other literature. But I kept thinking, this is like the writer or the director and the producer just crammed a whole bunch of Mage source books together and went, this could be a really cool effect in a movie.
But ultimately, I think I would give this one a 7, maybe an 8.
Wait, you gave Dawn of Justice 8.
No, I did not. I gave Dawn of Justice a 6.
We'll have to watch that episode. I believe you gave it an 8.
I believe I gave it a 6 because I believe you gave it a 4.
And I would give this one a 7.5.
So I think we're right in the same neighborhood with it. And the reason I gave the movie that shall not be named a 6 is only because I saw its potential. And yes, I know I shouldn't give a movie a point for potential.
You give it for what they give you, not what they could have.
I realize this.
Otherwise, 90% of movies should be getting an A because they tried.
No, because I've seen many movies that had no potential.
That's why you said 90%.
All right, well, that's where we are, guys. Next week.
What's your plans for the next week?
I had to open my Christmas presents early to make sure that they worked because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to return them if I had to. So, yeah, my PS4 works just fine, and I do need a new controller for it because the one I have sucks.
I want a PS4.
I had to wait and buy it myself. I'm sorry. No one buys me presents, really. I mean, I buy them for myself, and I pick an arbitrary month in the year and basically say everything from this point forward is a Christmas present.
I don't get presents.
I'm sorry. I send my love. I buy you games online every now and then.
Well, actually, speaking of buying games online, I know what I'm going to be doing this week. Telltale Batman.
Episode 3?
I played up to episode 2 last night, and then I looked at the clock and said it was 2 a.m., at which point I went, oh yeah, I have a church job, I have to go to bed. But after I finish picking up the apartment, I'm going to play that again. I'm going to play episode 3 and see what's going on. So.
Well, I have to find out if one of my RPG people wants to get his hour of solo play in. Otherwise, I have to prepare for the actual game, which is going to be tonight. As always, if you like what you see here, support us by following on YouTube, because we do our best. We've done everything to renovate so that we're like bigger and in your face. And
so that we've done everything to please you.
Yeah. And thanks. So yeah. So I'm going to go get some food and go find out what's going on with my role-playing game. And that's also on YouTube. So if you want to watch that, you can. It's a lot of us being stupid. But right. It's a good stupid. I'm telling you. All right, so
stupid good. Come by next week when we will discuss games. And I will give my review of the DC Legends RPG.
If he remembers.
Yeah, that.
Peace out, y'all.
DC Legends of Tomorrow RPG Ultimate. I don't know, whatever. Bye.
Peace out.